So this is the opening scene of The Dark Knight, and I'll be talking about the features of this opening scene and the inspiration we will take from it for our final film. So firstly, there is the shattering of the glass and a slight high angle shot to show us what the men are doing. There in the background there's a little bit of non-diegetic sound, but we can't hear a lot. The close-up shot in the street of the mask, that doesn't make a lot of sense to the audience at first, but later on that reveals a lot, and it links a lot together, as the first men we see are wearing masks, then we see another mask, and then in the car they're wearing masks. We know all these men are together, they're doing something together, which the audience just isn't sure what, which makes them want to carry on watching more. In the beginning, it is clear that this is a busy city, which, you know, there's going to be a lot of people around. So that is, a lot of thriller films do have that, but it is quite unusual for these men to be doing something quite risky, as a lot of people can see them. There's a bird's eye view shot which I really like, because it shows everything below, shows exactly what the men are doing, it reveals a lot. The diegetic dialogue about 6 shares, so clearly they're going to take something and share it between them. And in the dialogue they're talking about a man called the Joker, but we're not actually introduced to him, we're just talking about him. So it makes the audience more intrigued to watch more of the opening, to find out who this man is they're talking about. The next location is the bank, where they shoot the guns, and they're clearly there to steal money. That's being revealed now. The things that the men are wearing, they're just wearing normal clothes, but the masks clearly show no emotion. And we don't actually know who these men are because of the masks, and that is quite intimidating towards the audience, because you can't tell a lot about these people. The music significantly gets louder at certain key points. So for example, when the man in the bank shoots through the glass, the music becomes a little bit sharper and louder. Shot through the glass is walking through the bank, shooting the gun. It's a tracking shot just in front of him, so it makes the audience feel they're travelling with him. And it's not a complete low angle shot, it's just slightly lower than him. So it shows he has authority, but not a lot, because then he gets shot, which could have something to do with it. Like, he doesn't have complete authority. And then when the man in the mask shoots that man, he has a slight high angle shot. A slight low angle shot to show he now has the authority. The lighting in this is all quite natural lighting. The music in the background is parallel to what's going on, so it matches the scene, and it really creates tension and suspense for the audience.
Criminals in this town used to believe in things. Honor. Respect. Look at you.
Again, going back to the bird's eye view shot, when that is shown, it's a really quick cut, and I think that is to signify that how high up they are and what they're doing is quite dangerous, and that conveys the type of people they are. Like, they are willing to take a risk to get from one place to the next, and they're quite dangerous people, even though we don't know who they are. But that camera shot alone tells us about the character. throughout the scene there is a lot of tracking shots, which I believe is the main shot throughout the whole opening scene. There's not a lot of different shots, but I think that the tracking shot is used the most, as it makes the audience feel they're more involved in the drama. They are travelling with that person. There's also a lot of close-up shots, and that shows the emotion on their faces. And even though the men are wearing masks, the people in the bank who are in trouble, it shows their emotions, that they're scared and they're vulnerable.
I know why they call him the Joker.
So why do they call him the Joker? I heard he wears makeup. Makeup? Yeah, to scare people. You know, war paint.
Throughout the scene, the edit is, there's a lot of jump cuts from one place to the next, because they're all a gang of people doing different things to contribute to the stealing of the money. But all these jump cuts convey chaos within the scene, which we could use in our final film as the jump cuts. It shows a lot of what's going on, but the editing alone conveys the chaos, which could be something we would want in our final film. At the end, when all the money is collected, the music doesn't stop completely, but it's really, really, really quiet. So that creates tension, as most of the time the music can convey the atmosphere, and without the music there's nothing to tell us what's coming, what's going to happen. So the audience just has to guess for themselves. From what we see in the opening scene, this Joker man is clearly working alone. He's just used all these men, clearly someone that doesn't care.
You and your friends are dead! He's out, right? Where did you learn to count?
At the end, when the Joker is revealed, we have a low angle shot to show he's really powerful and authoritative. Even though we know that already, the camera shot just reveals that for effect. And when the Joker drives off with the huge bus, it makes the audience want to watch the rest of the film to find out more, to find out really who is this Joker person, because we hear a lot about him in the opening scene, but we only meet him within the last minute or less. So I really like this opening scene, because even though a lot happens, I don't feel like so much happens that it becomes boring and you don't want to watch the rest of the film, which is something we can take on board for our final film. Because in our final film we would want it to be a little bit like this. We want it to be exciting and intriguing, but not so much they wouldn't want to watch the rest of our film.
The guy that hired you